one and all, Captain Lady Top Hat here, playing FSX for your enjoyment. Yes, tally-ho! Oh, I feel like a tally-ho from the very beginning. Golly. I'm playing tutorial missions in Flight Simulator, and so far we've flown around the airport, we've landed a couple of times, we have flown around some hot air balloons, and this time we are going to have an introduction to mountain flying. Gosh, how exciting is that? Shall we listen to the mission? Let's.
You'll be learning how to take off and land on very short mountain airstrips with tall trees nearby. It's very important to use the flaps during short takeoffs and landings. Flaps serve two purposes. They generate more lift, and they cause drag, which slows the plane down. Before taking off, you should extend the flaps one notch by pressing the F7 key. If you want to watch how the flaps change the look of it, you can switch to spot view by pressing the F11 key. Press F9 to return to virtual cockpit view. To start the engine, press Ctrl E. Try to take off when you reach 55 knots and climb out at 60 knots, which will give you the best angle of climb in this aircraft.
So I have extended the flaps, as you can see here. And now I'm going to release the parking brake and we're going to take off. Brakes are off. Bit of power. Bit more power. We've got to get into the green.
Pull back now to lift off.
Thanks.
Great takeoff. You're in the air. Retract the flaps by pressing the F6 key.
I've mapped that to
Your landing spot will be the Lower Loon airstrip to the south of your
my
present
joystick.
position. It's very short and surrounded by hills, so it will be difficult to land on if you approach the runway from the wrong direction.
Oh, it's very low.
The best route to the Lower Loon is to follow the river valley rather than flying straight over the hills. This will allow for a shallower approach for landing. You can follow the waypoint markers if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to follow those markers. Where's my altitude? There. I'm about 4,400. Let's do a bit of a turn. Possibly a bit high. No? Okay. Now this reminds me of the rally flying that I did. They're very nice aircraft, similar to a Cessna. They're used as training aircraft in France. And I was flying near to Grenoble, which is a very mountainous region. And I actually landed and took off from Courchevel, which is a mountain airfield. It's a ski resort, and it was covered in snow, and the airstrip is actually vertical, or when I say vertical I mean it's like that, so you land and then taxi upwards on an incline. And this is one of the examples where you would do a powered landing. So normally you cut the throttle and glide in to land, but on this occasion you need to put power on because the strip is on an incline. That was very cool. course, flying in mountains is an extra rating that you have to get on top of your basic PPL. You wouldn't get that as standard.
We're about halfway to Lower Loon. This might be a good time to go over some bush flying tips.
Let's do that.
In real bush flying, you should always overfly the runway before landing to check the runway condition and to look for obstacles which could contribute to an unsafe landing. Even in Flight Simulator, it's a good idea to inspect a landing site before committing. Many of the mountain strips in this area are one-way in, one-way out approaches, and you only get one chance at the landing with no possibility of a go-around. If you need to turn around within the confines of a valley or a canyon, you can perform a canyon turn by slowing the down and dropping the flaps. With this technique, you can minimize your turn radius as long as you keep the power up and stay above stall speed. As you approach Lower Loon, start slowing down early in preparation to land, or to execute a canyon turn if you need to turn around.
So having flown this... Oh, we're low fuel. Having flown this a few times already, I know that we've a couple more markers to go before we get to where we're going. But when it does arrive... Oh, golly. It's a very short approach. Go. Let's have a look at our dials. I'm going very fast. Let's reduce the throttle. What height am I? That's 6,000. Okay, now we need to really lose height. A lot of height.
Now that you're getting close to the airport, maintain 55 knots and fully extend the flaps by pressing the F8 key. Remember to increase power to compensate for the increased drag, or you might stall.
So that's my flaps extended. You can see there. And we're heading down into this valley. Try not to hit the sides.
When approaching at more than 60 knots, you might stop before you reach the trees at the end of the runway. Go around and try it again. Great landing.
Woohoo! great landing. Thank you. I overshot just a little bit. I was coming in way too fast, but got there in the end. We didn't crash. What was it my instructor used to say? Any landing you can walk away from was a good one. So, that was exciting. That was an introduction to mountain flying. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I did, because I didn't crash the aircraft upon landing. For now, I bid you a fond farewell and a tally-ho!